You tuned in to the 7-Day Theory. Hard body, hard spirit.
Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes.
And I'm Steve Eager. Within the last hour, a jury has been chosen to decide the closely watched murder trial of Karmelo Anthony.
More than 500 people were on the list of potential jurors, but the jury will not include anyone who is black, despite this case being racially charged. Fox 4's Alex Boyer joining us now. Alex.
Hey guys, good evening. That's right. And I can tell you that a court spokesperson confirmed that there are indeed no black jurors on this panel. And I can tell you that before this jury panel was seated, the defense objected to 3 black women being struck by the prosecution. Now, the prosecution contended that it was due to the fact that the women were educators, noting that this incident happened at a school function with young students. The defense then pointed out that those were three of those were 100% of the available black jurors in what's called the strike zone, adding that the state struck all 3. The judge went out and reviewed their questionnaires and came back and said that the defense's challenge to the 3 jurors being dismissed was denied. The judge said the court found that the state had non-racial means to strike the jurors. Now, background, Karmelo Anthony, 17 at the time, is accused of fatally stabbing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf last year at a Frisco ISD track meet. Anthony was reportedly sitting under a tent for a school that he did not attend. Witnesses say the two got into an argument and Anthony stabbed Metcalf in the chest. Metcalf died in his twin brother's arms. Police said that Anthony told them he acted in self-defense.
What up, my people? Hard body, hard spirit. Check this. Bad day for Karmelo Anthony. In this trial that's been, a lot of people are paying attention to this trial and what happens. Like, this is just jury selection, and already this shit is getting wild. This shit is getting wicked. No, they did jury selection. No, not a one black juror. How in the F do you interview 500 people, select out of 500 people in Texas, and you couldn't find not one black man, not one black woman to sit on this jury? You're supposed to be judged off of a jury of your peers. Ain't none of these people Karmelo's peers. Not a one. These ain't his peers. And they said there was 3 females, right? There was 3 females. And they said the reason and how all 3 of these females just happened to work at a school, I don't know. But apparently they all got striked by the prosecution because, and they got struck and pretty much let go and said and didn't get selected because they worked at a school. Now, can that give you a bias? That's the question I'm asking. Like, okay, so if I work at a restaurant and I get selected to do jury, and the unalive happens at a restaurant, does that automatically disqualify me from being a juror? I don't know if that checks out. That don't make complete sense to me. But that's the reason why they're saying it wasn't racially. They're saying it wasn't racially motivated for the reason why they were not selected, but they weren't selected. Okay, and not one person on that jury will be black at all. The makeup of the jury should be the makeup of America. It should be a smaller, localized version of the people that represent America. Now, yeah, the majority of people in America are white. White people are the majority. But we're like, I think it was last time I checked, it was like we're like 13% of the population. 13% of the population. So we should at least have one representation on that jury, at least one. If this is any sign of things to come, it's not looking good for Karmelo Anthony. If this is a sign for things to come. Now, I want to talk about why why this case is really in the spotlight and why people on the Austin Reeves side is or Reeves why on Austin's side the racist white people, or just the white people in general on his side, why they're so upset or want justice or are on the side of justice for Austin, right? Because this is not a clear-cut case at all. There's a lot of gray area here. It could be self-defense. I'm leaning more towards the self-defense because Austin approached him. He put his hands on Karmelo. He tried to take it upon himself to be the police of the track meet and pretty much told Karmelo he can't sit where he's sitting. And when he didn't move, he tried to forcibly remove him or hit him or whatever, right? And that's when he defended himself. If he didn't take that first action of putting his hands on Karmelo, we wouldn't be talking about this right now. I would not be making this video. Austin would still be alive, right? If he let the people that are supposed to handle that situation, which is not a student, a teacher, a coach, a trainer, somebody in authority, if he let them handle the situation, they would have handled it appropriately, and we wouldn't be talking about this. There would be no trial, right? So that action led to the actions that came after that. And you never know what somebody that's why people got to be careful on who you put your hands on. You don't know what somebody has on them or what they're willing to do to defend themselves. If you slap somebody, you don't know what their reaction is going to be. You might think, oh, I'm going to slap somebody. I'm going to slap him and he ain't going to do nothing. Or I'm going to slap him and maybe he'll slap me. Maybe he'll punch me back. You don't know. You don't know what people got on them. Some people have CCWs. They carry weapons. They carry guns. They carry knives. They carry mace. You don't know how a person is going to react when you initiate an assault on somebody, right? But I think this really speaks to America's past and really America's present, how it still is. The racial tension that is still in America today. The racism that is still in America today. Because even with like a Chud the Builder, who literally gained a following for just being racist. Like this man became famous for doing nothing other than being racist. You understand that, right? You can't name me a counterpart. Like there's no counterpart of Chud the Builder, there's no black version of Chud the Builder. There is none. There is no black version of Chud the Builder. A black guy that goes out and antagonizes white people, calls white people racial slurs, and when they get upset or they want to defend themselves or want to fight him, he uses lethal or lethal force on them, right? There's no counterpart because black people don't do that shit. We really are there racist black people? Yes, there's racist people in every race. I'm not saying there's not. What I'm saying is it's a lot more prevalent in white people, and your history speaks to that. White people was the ones that initiated slavery in America. White people are the ones that initiated all the institutional racism in all these institutions since the birth of America, right? That ran propaganda against us to make us look like we're dumb, we're savages. All we want to do is hurt and unalive people and assault people. That's all we do. We're just animals that got a one-track mind, and all that mind says is for us to hurt other people of other races. All we want to do is hurt white people, right? That's the propaganda they ran since the birth of America. But in the news, you can't give me, there is no news article, there is no crime where you can give me that is the equivalent of a Emmett Till, but the black version. See, what this case does to white people is it even though this wasn't the intention of the crime, right? But just by the case, by what happened, by him being black and unaliving a white person, this throws everything that white people been doing to us back to them in their face. It puts up a mirror of what y'all been doing to us, and now they see that, oh shit, they took one of ours. Even though that was not Karmelo Anthony's intention. Karmelo Anthony's intention that day was not to unalive anybody. He didn't approach somebody, and he didn't approach anybody in an aggressive way. He was sitting down and he was approached by someone, right? So his intentions was not to even get into any confrontations that day. That wasn't his intent, or else he would have been the one to initiate the confrontation, and he didn't. So just like Ahmaud, if y'all remember, Ahmaud Arbery, there are so many cases. Emmett Till, Trayvon Martin. That's just three off the top of my head. There are so many that have been reported and some that have not been reported, of black people just minding their business, walking somewhere, walking through a neighborhood, sightseeing, just walking home, going to the store, doing whatever. And while they're in the midst of minding their business, just doing what they need to do, go to the store, go home, walking home, doing whatever, sightseeing, taking a jog like Ahmaud was doing, and they get approached by white people in an aggressive manner, like they can't even do that. You can't bring up a black version of that. There might have been some in the news, or it might have happened in history, but it's not prevalent. It's like a every once in a blue moon, right? It's like a rare thing that would happen. But we get these stories in 2020, we was getting them back to back. Trayvon Martin. Well, Trayvon Martin was years before, but Ahmaud Arbery, that was in 2020. George Floyd, all these people that was getting unalived by white people and they weren't armed. They were unarmed, right? So this case, I believe, speaks to the history of America, of white people, of what white people have been doing to black people. And now they see that, oh shit, wait, this is a case where the person that's being accused, they didn't initiate the contact, they didn't initiate the confrontation, but within the confrontation, they overcame, they unallowed somebody within the confrontation, right? And they unalived a white person, right? So to them, they think they're looking at it like, oh, this is a black person that took one of our people, right? But that wasn't his intent. But we have multiple crimes and unalivings that's happening throughout the years, where these are white people going out and intentionally looking for a confrontation with a black person, or for them to try to put their boot on our neck for some reason, for being black. There is no equivalent of a black person going out and just committing a crime against a white person just because they're white, right? We're not oppressors. We don't oppress other races. We don't. Because that's been done to us. We know how that feels. So why would we do it to somebody else? But the history of America is white people thinking that they're above and that they can put their neck on and they can be judge, jury, and executioner because they're white and they live in America and you're black and you're lesser than, that they can put their boot on our neck. That's not how it works. We're all human. Nobody should be putting any boot on anybody's neck, because we're all the same. The only thing that differentiates us is race. But really, we got more commonalities than we do differences. Because we're all humans having a human experience. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, 7 a day. Keep your head up and your eyes open. Membership's $1.99 a month. If you do sign up for the membership, I will shout your name out in every video. Shout out to John Paul. I'm out.
You're now listening to the 7 Day.